morning, guys. So today has been such a busy day, and I have had this splitting headache all day long. Well, I can't really say it's splitting. It's just kind of been nagging at the back of my head all day long. But that's the problem when everything you do for a living is on the computer, because when you have a headache, you still have to stare at the computer all day long. But I love doing it. It is fun, and I thought what I would do for this morning video, I kind of showed you some of the things that I do, like some of my, the ways that I film a little while ago in another show. And I'm sitting here editing the barn video, and I kind of thought that I would talk to you a little bit about the process of this, because it really is a fun, interesting process. I mean, I guess you have to be interested in creating videos for this to be interesting, but to me, I love it. I just absolutely love it. So right now I am at the very beginning of the video, and let me see if I can find a way to show you this screen here where it'll actually look decent on here. Okay, so this is my laptop right here. When we were out barn hunting, basically every once in a while we would stop and I would transfer all the footage from all of my cameras, like 3 or 4 different cameras, into these folders on here. So now when I'm sitting at home and I want to edit on my big system, I have to use this thumb drive and transfer like what's in this folder here. Let's see, actually this one here, it's the Ottawa County barn, and you can see it here. It's actually copying to my my other thumb drive here, and then we take that, we plug it in over here, and then we upload it to here. And that is how I access all the footage from my laptop on my big screen here. I mean, there's other ways I could do it. I could just pull it from there, because I have like a wireless setup in the house here. It's like a home network where I could just sit here and pull it from there. But then I have to keep that laptop turned on the whole time, because if it shuts off, I lose the connection between the two, and that's another big mess in itself. And that is how we do that. Okay, so basically once I get all my footage together in one place, all of it's over here on this screen. I have my editor here. I have my music up here. That's called Epidemic Sound. It's like a monthly subscription service. And there's, I don't know, 30,000 songs on there or something to choose from. We'll get to that in a minute. But then I start kind of piecing it together and getting an idea of what I want to do with the show. So I know I wanted to start out with the typical intro, so I stick that in here first. The next thing I have for this one, I wanted to go right into a scene where it shows that the sun is coming up, we're at the hotel, and then I have like a bunch of different little clips from the continental breakfast and things like that. So I want to ease into that, and I want to have some kind of soft music, maybe like an acoustic song or something like that, you know, something that kind of says good morning. And that's pretty much the intro that I want. It basically says we've been at this for a day, then we stayed over at the hotel. Now it's a new day, we're waking up, we're having our breakfast at the continental breakfast, you know, packing things, getting ready to go. And then it cuts to where we're sitting in the truck and we're going to talk about which barn we're going to go to today. So what I'll do is, like, I'll go over here and I will start importing all the footage that I have from the hotel. Drag it over and drop it in here, like 5 frames at a time. And once we have all of that brought over, then I can kind of look through it and get an idea of how this is going to play out just by looking at the little thumbnails. I don't actually have to play them all, but sometimes I will, just to see like how long each clip is, and you know, just have a good idea of what I'm working with. Now there's a couple of ways I can do this, so I play with it to see what looks best. Like, I know that I want the intro to play first, and then it comes in and we have the words pop up on the screen for what barn it is. I've already put that in. And then I know that I want it to go to this time lapse of it getting light outside, focused on the sleep in sign on the hotel. But I'll kind of play with this to see if I want it to just go to a cut or if I want it to fade into that. So, like, here's what it looks like if it just cuts into it. It goes to black from this, and then it just pops up. But I can slide it over a little bit, whereas this scene is going from black, the other one will start fading in, so it looks like this. See, it's a lot more smooth that way, and I really like it that way, because I'm also going to put the music in where that starts to play as the other song finishes. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to find a song that fits, and then I'm going to start plugging in all the other pictures from the hotel, the breakfast, and packing up and getting ready to go. So when it comes down to choosing music, you have all these songs to choose from. It's a ton of them. So a lot of times, like what I did was I searched for the word morning, and a lot of times it will give you music that will fit in the morning, you know, as you would expect. But like here's one called Morning Coffee. That's a little bit more than I want. I don't want it to be like so upbeat. Let's try Morning Tranquility. That's a little bit more like it. Yeah, I think we'll try that one actually. It's amazing that I just found one on the second try, because sometimes I will literally sit here for like an hour going through song after song after song after song looking for the right ones. So now that I've pulled this song down to my timeline, there's an area I know I want it to start. I don't want it to start right at the beginning of the song because there's a little bit too much dead air in there. But if you go a little bit farther in the song, then you can find the perfect spot where there's just not that much dead air. Split it, remove that beginning, and we're going to put it right up here to start playing like right after you hear me say I'm such a dork.
The dork.
See what I mean? And that plays right into the sleep in sign. And that brings it all alive right there. This is what I love about editing. I love to see this come together and come alive. Now I can start piecing in the other clips, and it'll go from one to the next. Like, let's see, right here we've got a shot of some cereal. We're going to bring that down. And then we've got a shot of, let's see, what is this? I can't even tell right offhand. Oh, it's like the drinks. Then we've got a refrigerator here that has different things in it, butter and eggs and things like that. And then we got a little dome here that has some bagels and some donuts and muffins and things. And then I'll just work with the footage and the music, and I will let it all kind of meld together and create this scene, and to give the audience this feeling of, oh, they stayed at the hotel, they're waking up, and look at that breakfast. And, you know, I just love watching things come together like this. So let's see how this works. See, I love that. And now, that's not perfect, of course. That's a really rough cut. Now I'm going to go back through, and I'm going to, like, kind of squeeze those together a little bit, maybe make some actually transition real slow from one to the next, and maybe I'll make some just cut right in. You just kind of have to play with the footage and see what looks the best. As I work through some of these clips, some of them I want to go a little bit slower, so I will stretch out the picture, but then I have to take the sound out of that, because otherwise it... Like, there was a TV on in the background, and he's saying, I don't know, the weather today is going to be da-da-da-da-da. But if I slow down the clip, and I don't take the sound out, it's going to be like, the weather today is... You know, it sounds like crap. So you just remove that, and then it just plays straight through without that sound. And plus, without that sound, it gives the music a little bit more strength. So once I work through that basic intro there, where you're just seeing, like pictures of things that are pretty much sitting still, then I want it to go to a little bit of sound. You want to start pulling the audience in with a little bit of sound of the things that are going on. Now, In the pictures that are sitting still, I'm still leaving the very low sound of the background, which is the TV going. Not enough where you can even hear what they're saying, but you know it's a TV. So it's a familiar environment. If you've ever stayed at a hotel and you're having a continental breakfast, you're sitting there eating your breakfast, you know there's a TV going on in the background or some kind of news on. So it's a very familiar environment for people to be in, and it's an easy way to pull your audience in and really attach them to what it is they're watching. But then we get to the point where we want things to start moving a little bit. So I've added in a clip here where I throw away my plate, my cup, and the silverware, plasticware, and you hear the sound of the trash can as I throw it away. So it goes from the quiet clip of just the dining room with this music to all of a sudden you see action and you hear that action. And even though that action isn't very loud, it's loud enough where, again, it pulls you right into it. You are living this scene right along with me. That could very well be your hand throwing away your own plate. Then we move on with a little bit more action, and it is me in the hotel room, and I am preparing my cameras and preparing things to pack up and hit the road. So we're just going to cut straight into that from the shot where I throw away that plate. And you want to cut these longer scenes up into smaller shots. Like I just picked up the camera, I set down the handle for it, and I could just let this roll and you could watch me do each and every thing, or I can cut this up into little segments and have it kind of jump, because you get the idea where I'm preparing things. So I'm going to skip past all of this where I'm preparing this camera. I'm going to skip straight through the part where I pick up the handle again. And I don't let it finish the action, just enough where you get that idea of what I'm doing. Then we're going to skip a little bit more forward. We're going to cut the rest of that one out, actually. And I can drag the line here and see what's going on now. In the background, here I am packing some things into a bag. So I'm going to cut straight from preparing that camera to packing my bag. It's another way to do kind of a time lapse without it being, squish everything together and let it all run just really fast. You cut it up into smaller bits so that the audience knows and feels and sees what you're doing, but they don't have to see it happening really fast. It still goes at just a regular speed and works perfectly with the music that we've chosen. Straight to me packing the bag there. And that one I left a little bit longer in because I like how I pull on the string to tie the bag. That looks really cool. But again, this is the process. You just kind of go through each and every clip and you pick out the interesting things. You try and give it a nice little variety. And here's a part where I set the bag down. I think I'm going to keep that in there too. Let's just see how that looks. And we'll cut that right there, because then we can jump right into something else. And I think we'll leave in just a little bit of packing this second bag. Cut that. Go straight to zipping it up. And here's the part where I pick up the laptop and I start looking at it and messing with it for a minute here. That's a really good element. Because like I said, it just shows the whole process of packing up and getting prepared to leave for the day. And but you cut it together like this, so it's one thing after another. It doesn't make it feel rushed because you have the softer music, but it still pulls everybody into that familiar environment. Just do that for a second. It really doesn't need a whole lot of it. And I know I'm going to be... there we go. I know I'm going to be closing the laptop and putting it in my bag, so I'm going to go all the way to there, so that when you watch it, it just jumps to there. Messing with the computer here, and then it jumps to me closing it and putting it in my bag. There we go. Now I also know that in about a second here, I'm going to be picking up those bags and walking out of the room. So I'm going to go straight to that because we've already established that we're packing everything up. There we are walking out of the room. Now, I also took a couple of close-up shots here, and it's leaving a tip and a card. And then I got a shot of the lobby and the front desk. And that'll be our very last shot there before we are inside the truck talking about where we are going to go for the day. And I think what I'm actually going to do is take that shot of the where I leave the tip. I'm going to put it right in between where I finished putting my laptop in the bag. Then you'll see me drop the tip, grab my bags, and walk out. Now we go to the lobby and the front desk. There we go. And right at the end here of that, we're going to have that fade to black. And that will end that segment very nicely. It's only 1 minute and 39 seconds long. And that's all I'm going to show you of this video here. Just give you an idea of the process that I go to in editing all these. And this is why it takes me 4 to 6 hours to edit these videos, because I'm just very meticulous about it. I love to get the perfect music, the perfect shots, lots of different camera movements, side to side, up and down, twisting around things. You know, just like you watched right here. So I'm going to finish editing this. I'm going to get this morning video up, and filming the process of me editing this has taken so much longer than it would have if I were just sitting here doing it. So I really have to move my butt now to finish this and get this barn video up tonight, so that by the time you guys see this morning video of how I did it, you can go back and watch the barn video and see the finished project. Wherever you guys are waking up, whatever time it is, make the best of your day. Do something for somebody else, pay it forward, and let's make this world a better place. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really love talking about the behind the scenes of all this stuff. It's very, very interesting to me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.